Well, alrighty. So over the past couple of years, we've seen Marvel Entertainment, whether it be in the MCU, the big screens or the small screens, or even in the comic books, race swap beloved characters or handed their mantles over to more diverse characters in the bid to push the woke ideology of diversity, equity, and inclusivity. And this has caused a lot of anger and a lot of backlash from many fans complaining that we don't see it being done the other way. It's always been handed from a white person to a black person, or straight white male to a woman, or something of that nature. Like we've seen in the case of Miles Morales as Spider-Man, we've seen it with Sam Wilson as Captain America, and now Rudy Williams as Ironheart, a derivative of Iron Man. But now, fast forward to present day, it seems like the Marvel Entertainment has grown a set of balls, or so it seems, and they have now finally handed the mantle of an established black character to a blonde-haired, white Caucasian male. Yes, you heard that right. Marvel's new Black Panther is white. Yes, seriously. In one of the most unexpected turns in modern comic book storytelling, Marvel has introduced a white Black Panther as the new ruler of Wakanda in Marvel Knights, The World to Come, Volume 1. Episode 1 or volume 1 number 1. So it seems like they are actually going to be going through with this, but I do smell something really fishy about this particular story. So I want to dive right into it because I have my opinions and I think I know what they might be trying to do. So let's dive right in. I'm going to share my opinion as we go along. Feel free to share your opinion and don't forget to like and survive on this channel so that we can keep going on. So without further ado, let's dive right into this now, shall we? So the mantle long associated with King T'Challa and Wakanda's African legacy has now passed on to his son, Ketema, a blonde-haired, white-skinned warrior who defeats T'Challa in ritual combat and claims the throne for himself. Now, here's the question. Is he an adopted son? Because how does T'Challa, a black man, have a blonde-hair son? Now, I have seen a situation whereby two black couple, right, probably from Nigeria, I think, if I can remember clearly, had a white, blue-eyed child. Yes, that actually happened. But yeah, is that what happened with T'Challa here? Because as far as I know, the two women that T'Challa ever had any romantic relationship with in the comic books, because we're talking about the comic books now, happens to be Storm. I think he married Storm at one time and also proposed to Monica Lynn and did marry Monica Lynn, although the only one of those two people that were pregnant at the time was Monica Lynn. So is Ketema Monica Lynn's son? And if that's the case, is he truly the son of T'Challa? We do not know. The move has already sparked widespread discussion across fandom and social media, with many shocked not only by storylines but also by what it represents in a broader cultural landscape of superhero fiction. Now, a lot of people are expecting that people are going to be outraged about this. I don't think that a lot of people are going to be outraged about this because it's not going to be on the big screen, and not too many people are diving into comics nowadays, because comics that used to sell when issues come out that you see 100,000 copies being sold, 200,000 copies being sold, now they barely sell about 2,000 copies, 1,000 copies, maybe even 500 copies. It's just so bad in the comic book industry at this particular point in time. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of outrage, but there will be a lot of people out there clamoring and hoping for this outrage. There are a lot of black people should come out and get vexed over this particular situation. But here is the thing. This story is talking about sometime in the distant future, and as we well know, in the MCU or in the Marvel Entertainment Universe or whatever you want to call them, well, when something is happening in the future, it can always be written away. It doesn't make it canon until we see it on the big screen. So they continue. Set in the near future version of Earth 616 is actually happening in Earth 616, right? This is our Earth, right? The world to come throws readers into Wakanda on a brink of collapse. The nation faces political unrest as a resistance group known as the Aquamarines attempts to overthrow the monarchy. Amid this chaos, T'Challa is confronted by a mass challenger, his own estranged son, Ketema. So essentially the way that they are depicting it, the son comes in the same way that Killmonger comes in. And this is where I smell a rat, because Killmonger was never seen as Black Panther, but he was the ruler of Wakanda for a while, wasn't he? He was sitting on the chair, but they never donned him as the mantle, or they never donned the mantle of Black Panther on him. We never saw him as the Black Panther, even though he wore the mask, he dressed up, he did everything. How come this time around they're trying to make the same guy whom the storyline seems a little bit similar to that of, Killmonger, which is an aggrieved relation or relative of the Black Panther, and all of a sudden he's going to be Black Panther? I still smell a rat here. Now, what begins as a formal challenge for leadership escalates into a brutal personal clash. Although T'Challa demonstrates clear superiority in combat, of course, how dare a straight white man with blonde hair defeat a black man? No, that cannot happen. As I was reading, although T'Challa demonstrates clear superiority in combat, he refuses to kill his son to end the duel. Ketema, interpreting this mercy as weakness or disrespect, responds with a sudden outburst, striking his father down in a flurry of blows. So, essentially, Ketema sounds like a villain to me. It doesn't sound like the hero Black Panther that we know. So, does this really feel like Black Panther is getting replaced, or we're just getting another Killmonger type story, but slapping a white man's face into that villainous role? Standing victoriously, Ketema removes his mask and shocks the Wakandan elders and readers by revealing a pale complexion and bright blonde hair. With no hesitation, he declares, "I am king now. Wakanda is mine." Of course. So this is breaking the trends that we've seen on a consistent basis of them actually handling the mantle of a white established character to a black person, like I've mentioned before. And this is quite different. Now, in the landscape where legacy superhero mantles are frequently passed from white to non-white characters like Sam Wilson's as Captain America, Miles Morales as Spider-Man, and Riri Williams as Ironheart, Marvel's decision to flip the script certainly stands out. For the first time in recent memory, a major superhero title has reversed the trend, passing a high-profile legacy from a black character to a white successor. Now, a lot of people might say that this is happening because of what is happening in the political cycle. We've just seen this particular month where a whole lot of companies that have been pretending that they cared about the whole movement of the pride, LGBTQI+++ community, that they were in support of it, have been pulling back. Matter of fact, a lot of people have been complaining about Target recently pulling back bigly on the support for the Pride Month. And there's a good reason why a lot of companies have been stepping back, because those things that they do in Pride Month has metastasized from being about pride to being about sexual conduct in front of children. Very, very terrible acts that I dare not mention in this video, as it were. So it seems like the culture is shifting. It seems like there's a shift in, the what do you want to call it? Political cycle, political culture. And a lot of things are starting to happen, but this one here, this right here, I still do not trust the MCU, because what I am seeing right here is that they are trying to appease a certain people so that they can do certain things in the future. One of the biggest complaints that we've seen, and we've seen the memes all over the place, is that people have been memeing that, hey, how come we've never seen Ryan Gosling or a Ryan Gosling like character play Black Panther? Now that would be something that would be even the odds. That would be something that will bring balance to all of this. So they're sort of like giving us this, which is happening in the future, which you can right away, which a lot of people are not going to read to start with. I don't really think that this is going to be a big sales in the comic book, and I don't think that they're going to make it canon in the MCU either. So what they're doing is they are trying to set a groundwork for more woke stuff in the future without you complaining. Remember how when people complained about them bringing in Shalabal as, the Silver Surfer instead of Norrin Rad, and people said, well, Shalabal was in the comic books because she was in 3 issues as, the Silver Surfer. Well, this is the same argument that they're going to make, because if you think about it, more recently we've been hearing things about them wanting to race swap Professor X or Magneto or both of them to black men because they want to depict them as Malcolm X and Martin Luther King or something. So this might be the same thing they're trying to do now, where they're trying to lay a groundwork where you can't complain when they do that, because they'll tell you, hey, hey, we've already race swapped Black Panther in the comic books, so it's there in the comic books, so you can't complain now if we race swap Professor X and, you know, Magneto and all other woke stuff that they're going to be doing in the future. So this here, like I done said, I smell a rat, and I think that it is a setup for something bigger in the future. But these are my thoughts regarding this. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Would you like to see this in the big screen and whatnot? Do you agree with this? Do you not agree with this? Do you smell a rat much like I do? Or do you think, yes, the MCU has finally grown a pair of balls? Because as for me, I will always maintain, I prefer the characters the way they were created. Keep the mantles with the characters that if the characters were white, let the mantle go to another white person. If the character was black, let the mantle go to another black person. Keep it that way. Do not try to change things this way, because all you're just going to try to do is you're going to create chaos. You're going to create a lot of division by trying to do this, and it just ain't going to work. But let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, ding that bell for notification, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care, peace, and signs out. Bye bye now.